Okay. It's recording. Okay. Hi, this is coding class with Mr. Hunt, and I'm with my student,
Tanay?
Tanay. Okay. And again, we're still working on functions. Functions are an advanced topic. Okay, we've uh, we've talked about functions. So we've talked about functions as, let's say, Tanay. We talked about you being Tanay 2000 robot, right?
Yeah.
And then you would have different functions, right? For example, like clean the room function, right?
Yeah.
How many times do you clean your room every day?
I never clean it.
You never clean it. Who cleans your
Nobody.
room then? Nobody. So it's just a mess all the time?
Hmm.
You clean it once in a while, right?
Well, Ane cleans it up for me.
What?
My brother, he cleans it up for
How
me.
can your brother, he's two. He's gonna clean your room.
I just say, Ane, clean the room. And he's like, Ote bhaiya. He calls me bhaiya.
What does he do? He's two. He
He
doesn't
just
clean anything. Come
he
on.
opens up the closet. That's where the toy box is. He opens the toy box, he puts all the toys in the toy box and shoves everything under the bed also. There's a lot of stuff under my bed.
Okay, that's not really cleaning the room, but okay. So you gave your brother a function or a job or a task to do. Okay,
Kind of.
right? You said, I mean, no, literally, that's what you did.
Really?
So you told your brother to do something,
He did
and
it.
well, he did. I mean, he did what he can do for a 2-year-old. He did the best he could as a 2-year-old, right? So
Yeah.
we can think of functions as a job that you give a robot, right? We can think of a function as a job that you would give a worker, right?
What's a
Okay. So your little brother is like a little worker. You told him to clean my room, and then he did his best to clean your room, right? Okay. So what's the other way we can think of a function?
another way we could
Yeah,
think
we
of
can think of
it?
it as the robot. You tell the robot to do something. You could talk to a human being. You told your brother's a human being. You told your brother to do something, a job, a task, a function, and then he does, he does what he can do as a 2-year-old. Now, what's the third way we can think of functions? What's another way we can think of functions? We did it last week. That's why you need to rewatch the videos.
Another thing
Yeah. How can we think about functions? Okay.
about functions as like a job.
Yeah, it can be a job. You either give a
Yeah.
robot or a human being. What did we talk about last week? We can also think of a function as what? Not as a robot or a human being, but as a what?
As an assignment.
Not a human being or robot, but actually,
Assignment.
right, it could be assignment. But what did we talk about last week? We could think of a function as a what? A magic what?
A magic word.
No, not a magic word.
You said magic.
Yeah, but we talked about it being a magic what? Don't you remember we talked about Maggie's?
Yeah, I remember we were talking about Maggie.
So what did we call so in your mind, we imagined a function being a what? A magic what?
Oh, magic box. Magic
Right.
box.
Magic box. A magic black box. Magic box or a magic black box. Okay. So one kind of magic box is one where it does something, right? So you press a button, and in 2 minutes, it makes a bowl of Maggie's for you, right?
300 bowls of Maggie's.
Well, I don't think you should eat that many. You know how much salt is in a Maggie? So how many different kinds of magic boxes boxes we talk about? One where you press a button, it just does it, right? What's the other two? What's the other two kinds of magic boxes? Hey, don't put that in your eye, please. Don't put that, I don't want you to get hurt. What's the other two kind of functions we can have? Magic boxes.
So,
We had a magic box has a button. Okay.
Master, the first one I didn't hear you do it, so I don't know which one you just said because you were frozen.
Okay. So the first magic box is one that just has a button. Okay.
Yeah, like
It
you
only has a button. It
no
press the
input,
button, and then it makes the Maggies for you.
like no input, just out.
Makes the right. So the second kind of one has, what did you say? Right. It has, well, the Maggies, it does something. So I wouldn't call the Maggies an output. Okay. I would just say it does something. Okay. Just like if you tell your brother to clean your room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling him, are you giving him any information?
Yeah.
No, you're just telling, you're just pressing a button. You're giving a command, okay?
On my mustache.
Right? Look over here, look over here. When we do print, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we do print with nothing inside the parentheses, what happens? What does the print function do? You remember?
What happens when, like, what does a print function do? It prints something.
Yeah, what does it print?
It could print whatever you put in the parentheses.
But if you don't put anything in the parentheses, what does it print? Something. It still prints something. What does it print?
It prints nothing. It prints none. Prints nothing.
It does print something, but you can't see it. You can't see it. What do you know what it prints?
No, what is it?
It prints a new line.
Wait, what?
Okay. So I'll show you 1 second. So we go here, right? You see my screen?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm printing ABC, right?
Print ABC, yeah.
And then I'm printing nothing, right?
Okay.
And then I'm printing 1, 2, 3, right? Do you see that? You see that?
Kind of.
Okay. So when we run the code,
Yeah.
okay, so it prints, you see the output area, right? You see that output area? Okay, the box on the right? Okay, so we print ABC, you see that ABC in the output, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then when we print nothing, it prints a new line, okay? And then when we print 1, 2, 3, see that? 1, 2, 3 is not right below it. There's a not line. Do you see that?
Oh my god.
Okay, so when we print with nothing inside, it prints an empty line. You see that?
Yeah.
So it printed an empty line, so it's easier to read if you use spaces. Now, if I turn these print statements off, right? What happens? What do we see when we run the code again? What do we see?
What do we see when we run the code again?
Yeah, what are we gonna see?
ABC.
Are we gonna see the all right?
ABC.
Are we gonna see the empty lines?
ABC 1, 2, 3 XYZ. ABC 1, 2, 3.
The empty lines? The empty lines are gone.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Wow. The empty lines have been killed. Why?
So it does something, right? You don't give it any information. You see the print function with nothing inside the parentheses, it does something. You don't give it any information, it still does something. Is there an output? Does it give anything back to you?
Wait, does it give anything back to me? Wait, could you?
Does it give you any information?
Wait, could you repeat the question?
Does the print function return any information to you? Does it tell you anything when it's done? Is there a return value?
No.
No. So when your brother, you tell your brother, little brother, clean my room. Does he ask you? Does he ask you for any information?
No, he just says. He's just like, okay.
He just does it, right?
Yeah.
When he's done, does he come back and tell you anything? Does he normally come back and ask you, tell you anything?
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry?
I'm pretty sure he says, okay, I'm done.
But he says that all the time, right? It's not like different.
No.
Does he tell you anything different the next time he does it? He tells you the same thing, right?
Yeah, probably.
So it's not the information he gives you doesn't matter. There's no input. You don't tell him anything, and there's really nothing for him to return. Okay, so that's not new information. It's just that's what he normally does, right? Cleans the room. He does his best to clean the room, and then tell you and he tells you I'm done. Okay, but he's not really telling you anything you didn't know already, right?
Yeah.
Right. So him telling you it's done, it really didn't matter. Okay. Now, Tanay, your video is off again.
It is? I wonder how that could have happened.
Okay. So now, can your brother do any math yet? Can he add or subtract?
Like, he knows his numbers, but he can't do that. Nope.
Okay. So how far can he count up to?
10, 20?
Okay, 10, 20. Okay. So
Yeah, but
let's
he
say
usually messes up at around 4. He's like, my mom is like, okay, what number is that? And he's like, 0, when it's actually 4.
okay. Okay, let's pretend he doesn't do that. So let's say you ask your brother, count up to 10, right? Are you giving your brother any information?
Am I giving my brother information?
You said he
No.
can count up to 10, or he could count up to 20, or 30, or 40, right? What's the highest number he can count up to?
Like my real brother or the fake brother?
Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just imaginary. Your brother's not in this video.
I don't know. 20 probably? Probably. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, let's say 20. Let's say 20.
Probably.
Okay. So you could ask him to count up to 5. You can ask him to count up to 10. You could ask him to count up to 15. You could ask him count up to 20, right? So there's a lot of different numbers you could have him stop at, right? Right, Tanay?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you tell your brother to stop at 10, right? Are you giving your brother information? Is there information going from you to your brother?
Yeah, the information is stop at 10 or else.
Right. Okay. So normally you ask him to count up to a certain number, right? Do you ask him just to count up, or how do you do that?
I just say count to 10.
Okay, you say count to 10. Okay. So count to 10.
He's like when somebody asks him to count to do ABCs, he just like, and he's like, and he runs away.
Okay. Okay. Now, let's say if your brother, when your brother can add 2 numbers, right?
Yeah.
So you would, today your video shut off again.
How about now?
Okay, so when your brother, I mean, he can't add yet, but when your brother can add, right, you could give him 2 numbers. Let's say you give him 5 and 7, right?
Okay.
So is information going from you to your brother? Are you passing information to your brother?
No.
No?
Wait.
How is he gonna know which numbers to add if you don't tell him which numbers to add?
I'm passing him information. Yep. Master Han, is
passing
my
information.
paused?
Now your video's paused. I can still hear you. So when he adds the numbers together and he gives you the answer, is information going from him to you? Is he passing information? Is he returning a value or information to you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Okay. So let's say I give you two numbers, right? I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay. We've done this before. I mean, so let's say we have an add nums function, and I'm going to put in two numbers, 25 and 13. Okay. Oops. 13. So I send that to you. So what do you return? What do you return back to me?
You sent that to me. So
Yeah, I sent that to you. What do you send back to me?
What were the numbers? What were the numbers?
Right, it's in the chat.
The chat. The chat is hideous. The answer would be approximately.
Type it in the chat. Type it in the chat.
The
Exactly.
answer would be
Are you using a calculator?
no.
Okay, it's not approximately. It is 38. Okay. Okay. So
I don't know what that
so I sent you. So I passed information to you, and then you passed. You gave, and then you returned an answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can have a magic box. So instead of Maggie's, we could have a magic box where, what did I say? I said there's a slot on top, right?
Yeah.
And hey, where'd you go?
What do you mean? I'm right here.
Your video went. So we have a slot on top. You take a piece of paper. You have a math problem on it. Remember that you put a math problem. You slide the piece of paper into the slot, and then there's another slot on the side. So what comes out of the slot on the side?
What comes out of the slot on the
Put a
side?
math problem. You put it in. You put right on a piece of paper. You drop it down a slot on the top, and then another piece of paper comes out on the side. So what's on the piece of paper that comes out of the slot that's on the side of the box?
The answer to the equation.
Right. Answer plus it has all the steps for the
Why
answer.
does it have to have all the steps?
Because your math teacher is going to ask you what steps did you use, right? So if you just have the answer and you don't have the steps, then, right? Doesn't your math teacher ask you for the steps? How did you get to the answer?
Yeah, she does.
Because the math teacher wants to make sure you actually did the work and not just use the calculator, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we have a function.
Yeah.
Where it just does things, right? Okay, the function does things like a print command with just the empty parentheses. It just does something. Okay, then we have a function like your little brother, right? You tell your little brother clean the room. He cleans the room. There's no information you need to pass to him, and there's no information that he needs to return to you. He just does it, right? Because he's doing the same thing all the time, right? Right?
Yep.
He's not doing anything different. Every time you ask him to clean, you tell him to clean your room, he does the same things, right? Does he ever do anything different?
Nah.
No, he does the same thing over and over, okay? Now, if you ask him to count up to a number, right? Count up, you normally tell him to count up to 10 or 20 or 30, whatever it is, right? But does he give you any information back?
Sadly, no.
No, he just well, he just counts up, right? He counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
He just
7,
screams
8, 9, 10. He screams it out, okay. Right? And then he just stops. He counts up to the number you said, count up to 10. He counts up to 10 and he just stops, right? Now, when he can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, right?
I'll be doing algebra by then.
Okay. Now, when you ask him to add two numbers, right? What does he need from you?
The numbers.
Right. You need to tell him the two numbers to add. Now, then what do you just then then you just walk away? You just tell him add these two numbers and do you just walk away? What are you waiting for?
I have to wait for the answer. The answer,
right?
The answer.
What happens if he gives you the wrong answer?
Well, then that's a story for another time.
Well, don't you have to help him? You're the big brother. Don't you have to help him?
I'm gonna take
You're not going to help him?
I'm gonna take my baseball bat and hit him on the butt.
Oh, no, you're not going to do that. Come on. Your mother's
No,
going to
I'm
yell
not
at you
gonna
if you do that. You're not going to do that. Your mother will yell at you if you do that. You get punished. You get
I'm
punished.
gonna teleport. Like, I'm just gonna teleport, okay? I'm just
You're
gonna
going to teleport. You're going to teleport.
Boom! Teleportation.
First of all, no one's going to Tanay, first of all, no one's going to believe you can teleport.
How? I just teleported to the other side of the room. I'll teleport.
Okay, you teleport. Okay.
And I'm back.
Okay. Now, so I want to teach you something that people use in the military and in business. So it's kind of like a human version of a function. Okay. So your mother, your mother works at for a company, right?
Yeah.
Right. So she has a lot of different things she has to do for her job, right? Hello?
Master Han,
Yes.
I'm gonna put my video on freeze for a second.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna teleport to the other room.
Teleport to the other room.
My brother
Teleported
sleeps
to the other
in my
room?
My
You
brother
teleported?
sleeps in my room, so
Oh, okay. Right.
he has to take a nap right now.
Right. Okay, so when you get older, right? When you get older and then you work at a job, let's say even if you work for yourself, right? Hello, Tanay, are you okay? Tanay, let's say you have you like food, right?
Only if it's burgers, noodles, pizza.
Okay.
Burgers, noodles.
So let's say we have okay. So let's say we have Tanay's hamburger shop. Okay. Okay.
I'm kind of hoping for noodle shop.
Okay, noodles at Tanay's noodle shop. Okay. Tanay's noodle shop. Okay. Are you gonna do all the functions? Are you gonna do all the jobs at the noodle shop?
What's the point? I have to get some people to earn money for me.
Well, you could work at the noodle shop by yourself, but then you'd have to be there all the time, right?
Yeah, it's just like
You want to be at the noodle shop.
Just like in this game I play, restaurant. It's called restaurant where you own a restaurant.
Right. So you know what? Okay, so that's good. So at the game, right? So if you
Like,
play
at
the
first
game
I got
restaurant, are you the only person that are you the only character in the game, or are there other people in the restaurant with you?
No, it's an online game. So other
But
people
I'm
are in the
saying
game.
when you're playing the restaurant game, are you the only character in the game?
No, I have customers and workers.
Do you have any
People that work.
employees? Oh, you do have workers. How many workers do you have?
I have 1 waiter and 4 chefs. 5.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Let's work. Let's use that. So Tanay's noodle shop, you have 1 waiter and 4 chefs, right? If you had to work the noodle shop by yourself, could you ever? I mean, then you would have to be there all the time, right?
Yeah.
So if you have 4 chefs and a waiter or waitress, right? Waiter or waitress, right? Then you don't have to be there all the time. You could leave, right? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Right? So the chefs have a function. What is the function of the chefs?
The function
What's their
of
function?
the chef: make good food, no lose any stars. Get 5 stars, no lose food.
Right. Okay. Right. Delicious food. Now, what's the waiter's function?
The waiter function, he
Yeah.
you
What's
know
the
what
waiter's
he
function?
do? He do all of the serving. So I don't
Right.
have to
Serves the food.
I don't have to do the serving.
Now, right. Now, the chefs, can they make the food without ingredients?
Of course not. But in the game you have
Of
unlimited
course not.
ingredients.
They need to have ingredients, right? So we could say that the ingredients are the input. Okay.
And the output
So
is
the
noodles.
output are the finished the cooked noodles, right? Okay. What about the waiter? What's the waiter's input? What does the
The
waiter
waiter's
need to
input?
get? What does the waiter need to get?
The
They
waiter
go to the customer, and then what do they get from the customer?
he gets good reviews from the customer if he serves the customer good food.
Right. But when the waiter comes to you, what does the waiter need to get from you first?
Money. No, he needs to get the food first.
Okay. Well, the waiter needs to get an order. The waiter needs to know what you want, right?
Well, yeah, he also goes to my customers because I own the restaurant, so he goes to my customers.
Gets the order.
Gets the order.
Gets the order. Then where does the order go?
The
So
order
the
goes
order
to the
is
chef.
the input. The money is the input. The chef, right? So there's an input. Now what's the output? What's the output?
Output: good food, 5 stars.
Yeah. So the waiter gets the food from the chef, and then returns it to the what?
Returns it to the customer. No, returns it to
Customer.
the
Okay, so then the customer. Now you said money. That you made a good point about the money. So if the customer pays with cash, then what does the waiter need to do if there's change?
Wait, what?
Does the waiter keep the change?
No, he gives the change to me and he doesn't get paid.
No, that's illegal.
Well,
That's illegal today. You can't do that.
In the game, nobody gets paid.
In the game.
Just me. I get paid.
Okay. But in the real world, sometimes people ain't paying cash. So sometimes the waiter needs to return change to the customer, right?
Yeah, he's like, change.
Hello? Okay. So we could say that the money that the waiter collects is input. The output, if there is output, let's say is the change, right? Because the change has to be returned to the customer, right?
Okay.
Unless the customer says to keep the change, right? Okay. Right. So there might be a return value. There might not, right? So let's see if we can do that in. Okay, I'm sorry. So, oops, I didn't share. All right. Okay. So in business, we have something called, it's a book. It's a book, or it might be a digital book. Okay, or it might be just online. Okay, so it's called an SOP.
SOP?
Tanay, are you there?
It's called a SOP?
Yeah, SOP. SOP.
Oh my god,
Standard
everybody's
operating procedure.
wait,
Okay,
something operating.
standard operating procedure.
Oh,
No, wait a minute. Standard operating procedure. So that's, so when the, so you have, so you want to, so you have a restaurant, Tanay's noodle shop, right?
it's called fastest food.
You don't want to be at the noodle shop all, I'm sorry?
My restaurant is called
Sorry?
fast food.
It's just called fast food? Okay. Fast food, okay. So at your restaurant, fast food, right? So when you hire new waiters and chefs, how will they know what to do? What do you need to, what do they need to have to be able to do their job today?
Well, they first start out as trainee chefs, where I still
Right,
have to
right.
do all the cooking, and then there's this bar above their heads in the game, so it's like when they're halfway to becoming a professional chef, the green line goes up to halfway, and then
Right,
full when they're becoming a professional chef.
right,
And then I
right.
can finally relax.
Okay, okay.
Ow.
So, so, so in the real world, right? Not the game, but in the real world, you need to have a standard operating procedure book, SOP. So the SOP tells the chef what the chef needs to do for his or her job. Okay. So when you have a waiter, so the waiter needs to have an SOP too, standard operating procedure. So if you open up another fast food restaurant, right?
Fast food, fast food.
You don't
Yummy,
want,
yummy, yummy.
but you don't want the two restaurants to be different. You want everything to be exactly the same, right?
Fast food, yummy, yummy, yummy.
Hello? Okay, today. So if you open up another fast food restaurant, you want the
Yeah.
restaurant to be exactly the same as the first one, right?
Yeah.
Right? So you want cooks to cook the same food and you want waiters to provide the same level of service. Okay? So you need to have a SOP, a standard operating procedure.
Okay.
Okay? Are you still there today? So
Yep.
it's basically it's a book. It's a book that tells the workers exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it, how much like noodles, right? So the Maggie noodles tells them exactly how much water to use with each serving, what toppings they can put on it, how long they need to cook the water, how long they need to have the noodles cooked in the water. Are you following me?
Yep.
Today, right? So when you make the Maggie noodles, right? I'm sorry, when you make the Maggie noodles, there's instructions that come with the package, right?
I don't know, maybe. I don't cook them, my dad cooks them.
Okay. There are instructions and they tell you exactly how to cook the noodles. What would
Yeah.
happen if there were no instructions?
Well,
What would happen if there were no instructions?
then noodles would be a thing of the past.
Well, the noodles might come out wrong, right? Then the package has to have instructions for you to make sure that that people are making the Maggie noodles correctly. Don't you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. So, oops, where is it? Okay, so we have again, let's say we have a function, right? So we have to use the def keyword, and then let's say we call it func 0, okay?
Okay.
So does this function take any information? Are we passing it any information?
No, not yet. Now we are. And
We're taking information.
No, we're giving information.
But look inside the function. Inside, look at the parentheses. Is there anything in the parentheses here?
Yeah.
Tanay, look here.
No, there's
Def
nothing.
func underscore 0. There's nothing in there. Does it take any information?
No.
No. Does it return anything? Does it return any information?
Nope.
No. It just prints something. It just does something. It just prints. It prints, I don't take any input. I don't return a value. Okay? So it doesn't return anything either. Okay? There's no input. I'm sorry. Output. I'll call it output. I don't take any input. I don't return an output. Okay? Okay, so I call the function, and then it prints, I don't take any input. I don't return in output. I don't return output. Doesn't take anything. It doesn't return anything. And look what we see today. You see on the bottom here? What does it return? It says return value. What is it returning?
Return value none.
None. So that means it returns nothing. It doesn't return anything. Okay?
Return zip.
Return zip. Okay. So now let's say let's say we create an input. We're gonna have input called name, okay? Okay. So now is it picking any information from you? Is it getting any information?
Yeah.
Now it's getting information, right? So what's going to happen with this function?
It's going to print. It says my name is Billy. I don't take any output. I don't take any input. I don't.
Okay, well, this is wrong now. Okay, this is wrong. I have to change it. So it does take. I have to say I take an input. Okay. Does it return anything?
Yeah.
What is it returning though?
It's returning the sentence. Like it's getting the input.
But look, okay, wait a minute. Okay, let's see. I'm running the program. So the input is Billy. I'm running the function. Oh, I did that wrong. Sorry. I don't know what I put that. Kind of English is that, right? Sorry. Okay. So look, I'm running the function, right? I'm running the program. Okay. I'm calling the function. I'm taking the name. So the name is, you see on the bottom, name is Billy, right? You see that?
Uh-huh.
Name is the parameter. Billy, the string Billy is the argument. Okay. And then I print, my name is Billy. I take an input. Okay. It still prints, I don't return output. What is the return value, Tanay? Look here. Look on the bottom. What is the return value?
None.
Still none. So is it returning anything?
No.
Right. Still not returning anything. Okay. So this function, I'm sorry, let me call this function underscore 1. And then we had function func underscore 0. It doesn't take any information. Doesn't take any input. And it doesn't return anything. No output. There's no output. There's no input. Oops, I keep hitting the wrong thing. Okay. Oops, I I hit the wrong thing. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So I call, so func underscore 0 and okay. Okay. So let me run the whole thing again. Okay. Func 0. What does func 0 do? Func underscore 0. What does func underscore 0 do, Tanay?
Func 0. I
Oops, I
didn't
spelled.
take
I'm
any
sorry.
input.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to spell. Sorry. Let me fix that.
Return.
Okay.
I don't take any input.
So func underscore 0.
I don't take
It doesn't take any input. It doesn't return. I don't return an output. No input, no output. It just does something. Okay. What does func underscore 1 do?
My name is.
What does func
Will.
underscore 1
I take an input. I don't return an output.
take an input? I don't return output. It does something, but it doesn't return anything. Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna put a print here because it's kind of all jumbled together. I'm gonna put a print because I want to print an empty. Okay, so what's the last kind of function we want to make today? What would be the next function? What do we want the next function to do?
The next function, we want it to take an input and also return an output.
Thank you. We want to return. Okay. So what is the keyword we need to use?
Wait, what is the what?
What is the keyword we need to use to do that? How do we get it to return anything?
The keyword is return.
Return, right? Okay. But if we return something, how are you going to see it? What do we need to do so we see what it's actually returning? What do we need to do?
We print it.
We have to print it. Or what else could we do with it? We could print it or do what?
Or
What else could we do with it?
Oh, save it in a
Save it. Thank you. We could also save it. Okay.
That was quicker than last time.
Okay, let's say we'll call it answer. Now let's call it output. Call it output, and then I'll save it. Give me two integers today.
The first integer 100. Your second integer 100.
Okay, and then so we can actually see what the output is. We'll print. The output is.
Oh God. Master Han.
Oops, I have to. Oh, by the way, the output is going to be an integer, so we have to turn it into a string so it prints correctly. By the way, just letting you know. Okay. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm sorry. You had a question?
I need to go wash my hands.
Okay. Okay. Well, go wash your hands. Okay, we're gonna go back to recording.
I'm just gonna lower my hand. Because I raised it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Lower hand.
Okay. Okay. So again, we have.
I'm inviting someone.
You're inviting someone. Who are you inviting?
I'm inviting Addie. Duh.
Addie. He's already here. What are you talking about?
I'm inviting him to come 6 minutes early.
I'm sorry?
I'm inviting him to come 6 minutes early.
Well, he might not be there.
He is there. He's playing Minecraft in his basement right now.
Okay. Let me finish up. Okay, so we have the first function. There's no input. There's no output. Second function, second type of function. It takes input. There's no output, doesn't return anything, okay? So what's the last kind of function?
The last kind of
What's the last
function,
kind of function today?
the one that takes input and also returns output.
And it returns output, okay? Takes input and returns output, okay?
Yeah, that's great. Right.
Okay, so the first function doesn't take anything,
Doesn't give
doesn't
it
return anything,
that function is
okay?
mean.
Okay. Okay, so it just prints two sentences. I don't take any input, I don't take any input, I don't return an output, okay? So what does the second function do?
The second function.
Tanay, please get off the floor, please. Tanay,
Yeah,
are you okay?
yeah. I mean, I'm ready for
Tanay,
the camera.
I just want to finish up, please. Come on, Tanay.
I know, and I'm listening.
So what's the second kind of function?
The second kind of function has input but no output.
Right, thank you. Has input, no output. So what's the input of func_1? What's the input?
What's the input of
Func_1. So what's the input here?
Input, no output.
Right. What is the input? What is the input here?
I don't take any input. I don't return output. I take input. I don't return output.
But
My name is Billy.
func_1. Func_1. What's the name of the input here?
My name is Bill. The name of the input is Billy, probably. I don't name. It's called name.
Okay. So name is the parameter. Billy is the argument. Okay. Name is the parameter. Billy is the argument. Okay. So the last kind of function is the func_2. What does func_2 do? Tanay, what does the func_2 do? What does it do?
Func_2.
_2. What does it do?
Func_2.
What does it do? Does it take information?
Yes.
Does it have inputs? Okay.
Yes.
So what are the name of the inputs?
The name of the input is num1, num2.
What does it return?
Oh my.
What does it return?
It returns.
Did it return something? What did it return? I highlighted. What did it return? I'm sorry?
It returned 15.
Okay. And then what are we going to do with that 15? And what did the program do with the 15? Look at the output. Look at the output on the right. What did the program do with the value?
The program?
Yeah, what did the program do with the 15 that was returned? It printed it out.
Yep.
Printed out. So what else we could do? You said, what else can we do with the returned value?
What else can we do?
Yeah, besides printing, what else can we do?
What else can we do? You can store it in a variable, apparently.
Thank you. We can store it in variable. Okay.
That was faster than.
Where's the so what is the name of this variable? What is the name of this variable that we're using to save the information?
The name of the variable that we're using.
What's the name of that variable?
Output.
Output. Thank you. What's inside output?
$200.
Okay. Okay. And so, and then what do we do with that 200? What are we doing with the variable now? What did we do with the variable?
We printed the variable.
We printed the variable. Okay. And just letting you know, because the variable is an integer, we need to turn it into a string first. in order to get it to print, okay? If I don't use the str function, then we get an error message, okay? Do you see that? We got a type error. Do you see that on the left,
Type
Tanay?
error. It must be str, not int. What's
Must
int?
be a
I don't
string.
see any int.
Yeah, must be a string, not an integer. So when we have an integer and we want to join it with another string, we have to make it into a string. Okay. So the str takes the integer and then makes it into a string. Because when you concatenate or join two things together, they both have to be strings. They can't be a string and an integer. They have to be both strings. Okay. So by using the str function, we don't end up with an error. Oh, I hit the wrong thing, sorry. We don't end up with an error message. You see that? There's no error messages. Everything printed out, there are no error messages. Do you see that?
Okay.
Okay. We'll go over that more. I mean, we'll go over the str and other functions more. Are you okay today?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this Thursday, I want to finish up functions. So we're gonna have you do the functions badge on Thursday. So I want you to
Better be ready.
I'll put a link to this video by end of today or tomorrow, and then I want you to watch the video. I'll do it today. I'll have this video up on. I'll have a link to the YouTube video today, and so you can rewatch the video. Today, you're scaring. Don't scare people. Okay. So I'm gonna stop recording. So we're done.